You're probably wondering what's happening. Well, I flew in 6 martial arts YouTubers from across the whole globe to compete against each other in 7 different self-defense challenges in a state-of-the-art self-defense facility to see who is the ultimate self-defense champion. So,
welcome to the Ultimate Self-Defense Championship.
I'm like thinking, well, he films hundreds of rounds of sparring a month.
the morning started with 5 of the 6 participants waking up in the self-defense facility where they will be living together for the next week.
I love your t-shirt.
My kids get annoyed when I wear it around the house.
Each day they will be facing new challenges without knowing what they will be. And as soon as they are geared up, the next challenge will be revealed.
We do a round robin system where you do 1 round with everyone. Okay, we're going to do it in a different environment. This is your opportunity to spar with one another.
I was really excited, like we're literally gonna be fighting. And then we walked outside and I'm like, okay, we're gonna be like fighting just outside. And I'm like, this is awesome. Cause I was already like game planning like what kind of kicks I'm gonna throw.
Oh boy, we're sparring in that.
Oh my God.
And then the bus showed up. I'm like, okay, I can just throw all kicks.
And I thought, but there's no way they're gonna convince some professional bus driver to drive the bus around while we're fighting.
It's also going to be moving.
No, it's not.
And if they do, there's still no way they're gonna convince the bus driver to like sling us around the bus.
So they're going to hit the brakes, they're going to swerve, stop on slopes, inclines.
And sure enough, that's what they did.
I didn't expect a moving bus.
What the f you mean? That's so illegal.
The participants then climbed into the bus, and as soon as the bus started to move, the fights were going to begin. Each participant will be fighting each other in 1 minute or less rounds, and their performance will be later scored by judges based on how much damage they inflicted and how well they used the environment to their advantage. The winner will receive 1 point, and if it's a draw, no points will be attained. And the fights will continue until everyone has fought each other at least once. The first fight was Icy Mike, kickboxing coach, former police officer, and street beefs fighter versus Jeff Chan, lifelong martial artist and professional MMA fighter.
You guys okay? I feel a little tension on the bus right now. I feel like you guys were about to fight. I don't know why.
Jeff Chan definitely had me dominated at one point, but the bus lurched and I was able to pop up.
Before I reveal the score for this fight, some of you may be wondering why we are fighting on a bus. Fights on a bus may and do happen, but if you train only in the gym, the unpredictable conditions of a bus fight, such as a different environment and the movement of the bus, may catch you off guard, while training on a bus makes you used to it. Now, back to the fights. While the judges considered this one a close one, Jeff Chan won this time. Next up was me, an Aikido black belt turned amateur MMA fighter, versus Matt Clinton, self-defense content creator and former student of Western Combative Self-Defense School. This time though, the sitting positions were changed, but in order to decide who will get the aisle seat, we played rock, paper, scissors, where I won and chose the aisle.
I'm starting to feel that my arm is going around for a rear naked choke. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to pull it off. Ouch! Holy, this may actually work. It felt really good. It was like a clean fight under, so I was happy.
This one went naturally for me, but right after I had to go fight Sensei Seth, lifelong karate practitioner and black belt, cross-trained in pretty much every martial art known in the universe.
I'm gonna land one head kick. One head kick.
But this time, I didn't receive a spot as favorable as I was sat down in front.
Alright, I'm ready.
Oh! Shoot, this guy knows how to kick.
Here you go.
front arm. On the record, we're discussing. Yeah, kicks are hard in the bus. And this guy opens with a head kick.
I didn't account for the bus movement, so I was like, no.
That was movie worthy.
Although the judges saw it as a close fight, Sensei Seth got the V. Next up was Sensei Seth versus Icy Mike.
Ready? Y'all ready?
I can see his legs are like kind of like tree branches that are just like. So in my head, I'm like, I gotta hit Mike in the nuts.
Although our fighting brought the attention to the police, luckily we didn't get into trouble, and this fight was won by Sensei Seth, which puts him in the lead. But there are still a number of fights coming up, following with Ramsey Dewey, MMA coach, lifelong martial artist, and former professional fighter versus Jeff Chan.
I think one of my advantages was ground and pound and just being able to control someone on top.
Jeff Chan brought this one home, also bringing him up at the top, but Ramsey had an opportunity to recover in his following fight against Matt.
Honestly, who throws a shoe? Mr. Towers?
Did you throw a shoe?
Where'd it go?
Unfortunately, Ramsey Dewey is still without points together with Icy Mike and Matt, as the fight was scored as a draw, but Mike will have a chance to change the situation in the following fight with me.
Going full E Honda, I'm literally jumping at you head first.
No submission.
So I figured out that upside down, I was actually at my best. So I planted a foot on the roof and was able to throw knees.
Although the fight was a close one, the judges scored this one for me, keeping me strong at the top, together with Sensei Seth and Jeff Chan. But as the fight continued, the day before on their arrival, the competitors learned that they were putting on the line not only their reputations, but there was also something else at stake.
Damn.
Wow. Jeff's got the eyes on that one.
Personally, beforehand, I was like, I don't care if I win, but then I saw this game, I was like, I want that belt. Yeah, I don't want this to be in my room.
I never won a belt in my life. I want that belt.
The game is on.
They're going to compete in 7 self-defense challenges, earning points for each one, until finally one of them will become the ultimate self-defense champion. But first, the rest of the Bus Bash fights were about to happen, following with my fight against MMA coach Ramsey Dewey.
My plan is as soon as he stands up, I'm just gonna start kicking him. That works out great, he can't come in, and then suddenly I feel he grabs me in a foothold. This is not what I want.
It's so narrow, there's no room to move my arms, there's no room to pass guard.
While I was close to winning this one, the judges decided on a draw, keeping the leaderboard as it is. But soon enough, things could change, as Icy Mike was about to fight Matt. Although the fight was a close one, Matt got his first point by winning it, but it came with a price.
You okay, Mike?
Sorry guys, break time.
Don't take too long.
I'm okay, my knee locks up sometimes. I just gotta find the angle I can straighten it out at.
There goes. I'm good.
Luckily, Mike was fine, and the guys were ready for the next fight, which was Jeff versus Matt.
The seat hurts you and helps you. Seat give it the seat. Yeah, right.
Jeff Chen won this one, making him the leader. Meanwhile, Ramsey Dewey still has no points, but he will have a chance to change the situation in his next fight with Sensei Seth.
I wanted to look super cool. I want to go for like a Bruce Lee moment. So as soon as the bell goes, I went.
This fight ended as another draw. The following fight was Sensei Seth versus Matt. Sensei Seth got a clean win this time, putting him back at the leader spots. But everything can change in the next fight between Jeff and me.
You actually had a really strong guard and legs, and you were like kicking me away, and I was like trying so hard to like stay. Good control on the bottom.
The leaderboard still remains the same, as the fight was deemed a draw, but things could still shake up in the next fight between Jeff Chen and Sensei Seth. The fight ended in another draw, and then it was time for the final bus fight that everyone has been waiting for. Icy Mike versus Ramsey Dewey. Right after, they will settle who takes which seat.
Alright, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Stop it. Shout out Shane Face, who taught me how to play Rochambeau.
Once that was out of the way, it was time for the final fight.
Then Icy Mike did the most Icy Mike thing possible. With a couple of inches of mobility, he starts hitting me right in the groin. Master Wong would be so proud.
Ramsey Dewey finally won a point, leaving Icy Mike behind. But there was one more big surprise making their way towards the participants that they didn't see coming.
Hi, Mike. And suddenly we hear like, wow, this scream. My wife starts screaming.
Everybody just starts yelling. I'm not expecting any of these other people to be jumping in. I look up and it's just a horde of people in front
You
of me.
don't have much time to make a decision. This, and I just ran at them and started screaming.
So I start running up to the front of the bus and I'm like throwing punches.
Me and Ramsey are like, what is happening? We're like looking and we see guys fighting and we're like, we gotta get in there too. We have to protect our friends.
One of the dudes who hasn't found an opponent yet trying to squish through, and then he gets through and I knee him in the face. I felt bad about it. He's playing a part. He's not a real bad guy, but they're coming at us with malicious intent, some real heavy shots being thrown. And so I hit him with a knee that was probably way harder than I probably should have, and then another one, and maybe another one.
Happy day. Nobody else sees me. I don't know who I'm climbing over, but it's our people. And I'm like, bah, bah. I'm not hitting anybody hard. And then I get through the crowd and I look up, but there's just a white helmet, and this white helmet's hand goes back, and then with like a crazy velocity, and I was like, oh no. And then again, poof, poof, and I got hit 3 times at that point. Those were very hard. I went from like being like happy and being like, haha, this is so much fun, to like, oh gosh, I wanted to keep my head safe at that point.
Turns out this group assault was a surprise set up by host Jeff Phillips to catch us off guard.
I like to throw in curveballs. I think true self-defense, you're not prepared for it.
But there were many more surprises still coming.
I was very nervous.
Boom, I'm in a full rear naked choke.
And that was the most exhausting training I have ever done in my life.
Although the 6 martial arts YouTubers who came to Sydney, Australia to compete against each other in 7 self-defense challenges to find out who will become the ultimate self-defense champion have seen each other hundreds of times online, this was the very first time they actually met.
I thought you were like that size. Rokas is taller than I thought. Rokas is way taller than I thought he would be.
It felt like we knew each other, although I had to realize that this was the first time we ever met.
What is going to happen when I meet Icy Mike? Is it going to be like some big staring contest? We're just going to... It turned out he's a human being like everybody else. Actually, no, he's way different than everybody else, but he's a decent guy. He's a decent guy.
As I walked in, one of the loudest voices that I heard was Mike. Holy shit, he doesn't put on an act for the camera. He's literally just loud and talking all the time, which is a good thing.
Ramsey was even more Ramsey than I expected.
Ramsey Dewey is just as much Ramsey Dewey in real life as you would expect him to be. It's uncanny.
Then, some crazy stuff was about to happen at the SMAI headquarters, where we went to gear up before the challenges.
We've got some of the boxing gear here. Anything that people need for like a CrossFit gym, a lot of the martial arts studios. It's really like a one-stop shop.
I thought you're gonna, okay.
I'll give you a light one.
Give me, what do you call that, 5? So 25? Okay. Oh, I'll go 75. Oh. Okay, we're done. Yeah, that's fine, do 100. No, get it.
Hard to hurt, right?
Yeah, not impossible.
So different thicknesses.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait. I've actually never broken a board before.
What? Oh. No. Straight back. Straight back. I bet you $1 million goddamn dollars he breaks this thing first try.
I'm not going to use my head, though. 2.
And then once we tested the safety gear,
Icy Mike, I am your father.
The thing is,
Well, where do you want it first, though?
in the body protector.
it was time to take a look at the next challenge. Once the participants made their way back from the Bus Bash group fight to the Western Combatives headquarters, they didn't have much time to recover as unexpected guests appeared.
Those dudes are bad guys?
They had the same shirt on, of course they're bad guys.
We're teammates now.
No, get him. Look, he's
out of here.
He's out of here.
You match.
So, why are they all so big though?
I don't know.
And in less than an hour, the next challenge was revealed to them.
You're going to have one attack of each of these guys. How it works, you'll stand in the middle, you'll close your eyes and go 3, 2, 1, and at 1 you open your eyes.
As soon as the eyes are opened, one or more of the bad guys will attack, and they will each attack every participant in the same way. Once there is a resolution to the situation, the fight will end, and the attackers will vote if the participant won or lost the exchange. In total, 6 different attacks will happen, which will be tracked by a scoreboard where a maximum of 6 points can be attained by receiving 1 point for every win. The fights will happen at 70% intensity to prevent injury. And Jeff Chan, professional MMA fighter, decided to go first.
Who's going first? I mean, I'll go first. And Jeff was like, I can go first. And I thought about it. It didn't take me long to think about it. I was like, yeah, you go ahead.
Five, 4, 3.
Circle drill was my personal favorite one.
Jeff Chan got his first point in the circle drill, but the fun was just starting for him.
3, 2, 1.
Another one that was fun was the 2 versus 1. I've done 2 versus 1 sparring, and you do not grapple with them. So I stay on the outside, I strike, teep, and survive.
If you're feeling it, some of the others will feel it tenfold.
Jeff Chan scored another point, but the upcoming final 2 attacks caught off guard even him.
I didn't even remember that they held the knife to my throat.
Everything, yeah.
I don't remember anything. I just reacted. I had him controlled and pinned, and no one called it, so like maybe I should like try to submit him. I tried to let go of my arm. When I let go of this arm, he freed his arm, stabbed me a few times. I'm like, okay, fuck this. I control his arm again.
Although Jeff got stabbed, the majority of judges voted in his favor, scoring him another point. But there was one last surprise left for him.
3, 1.
Yep, so.
Thank you.
Jeff Chan successfully won all 6 points.
You tired?
Oh yeah.
Damn! Jeff is tired. What does this say about us?
I just thought it was fun because this is my first time fighting someone with a knife and a bat.
Oh, wow.
Jeff Chan came out on a positive note, but for the others, the circle drill was much more challenging, starting with Sensei Seth.
I was nervous, and it was worse than I thought it was going to be.
5, 4.
Although Sensei Seth scored the first 2 points, it took a toll on him and affected him in his next fights.
5, 4, 3.
And the next fight was the one that got him in trouble.
So you can't deny fitness is really important.
4, 3, 2.
The 2 versus 1 was awful. It felt like I was fighting 100 people. No matter what I did, they just kept coming. My helmet broke and I'm like falling as it all happened. At that moment, I was ready to quit. It was like less than halfway through. So I was like, okay, all right, let's just figure this out.
But then, Sensei Seth decided not to give up.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Scoring him another win with only one more fight left. Sensei Seth survived with 5 points in total.
I wanted to quit. I could be tough right now and be like, yeah, but I didn't. I mean, I didn't, but I really wanted to quit.
How you feeling?
You get big boy?
Damn! You're not helping me, Seth.
I don't think I'm gonna. I'll wait till you come back. Just some fresh fight. I was tired too. I'm not in the best shape of my life either.
Shut the f up. No. Fucking 16 pounds. Like, man, I don't feel like I'm in the best shape.
You know it's different.
Yeah.
There becomes a moment where it feels real. The drills, the situation, I was impressed.
Sensei Seth kept his score close to the leader, Jeff Chan. And then it was time for Ramsey Dewey.
1,
Do some damage to him. Damage. Good job. That's one.
Everyone else, it was like push, grab from a certain position, but then my eyes were closed and the first thing I felt was a punch in the face. Swung the headgear around backwards, so I can no longer see at all.
Whoa, hang on, you can't see. Cut it there.
And I thought they were going to restart it and put the headgear back on, but that was it.
Unfortunately for Ramsey Dewey, the judges decided to stop this fight and consider it a loss, leaving him with 1 point for the first attack. But Ramsey still had plenty of chances to change the situation.
I didn't know you could take breaks. Everyone else was taking breaks. I was just one after the other, like no breaks. I loved that though, a multi-man kumite style of training where you just have a fresh guy come in, have a shark tank.
The next fight though caused Ramsey some trouble.
Boom, I'm in a full rear naked choke. It's on. The blood is being cut off like as soon as the drill starts. That's like the Kobayashi Maru situation right there from Star Trek, the no-win scenario.
Unfortunately, Ramsey Dewey so far had only 2 wins, with the 2 of the hardest attacks yet to come.
My eyes are closed and I feel a collar tie on my head. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get him with a Russian 2-on-1, arm drag him to the floor, but then I open my eyes and I see a knife and he says, give me your money. There is a much more appropriate response to this that I've actually used in real life when accosted and robbed by armed assailants. It worked in real life. Fortunately, it also worked in the drill.
First one, we did.
Ramsey won 1 more point, but the final attack was still left.
You got to, there's a solution.
Although there was no clear resolution, the judges gave this one to Ramsey Dewey, since he led the attacker to losing his weapon and got into a dominant position.
Not happy. He's not happy. He got a little shiner.
Easy Dewey. Come on, take a seat. How do you feel like you did?
I feel like I underperformed a lot, but I could blame like, oh, it was this equipment or that. At the same time, excuses don't count. Okay,
the knife one.
The knife one was the easiest one because I've been in that situation before in real life. We good? All right.
You did not do that in this
That's exactly what I did.
Shut the...
Before the next 3 participants went up, the scoreboard didn't look like the group initially guessed it on the first day at SMAI.
Like, I think we're going to start out like, oh, we're all friends, we're having a good time, but I think by the end of the week, I'm going to be like, I need 3 more points.
We're going to say who we think is going to win.
Icy Mike, because he's got special force training, SWAT training. Purely based on size and experience, Ramsey.
We probably all, we were like Jeff Chan, we were like, fire him, yeah, the professional athlete. And then they shredded.
If we're putting names on the ballot, I think I take it. Because there's so many events, I'm hoping that my non-black belt in most things is enough. What Sensei says, hey, you could just call me. I'm competitive unless I lose, then it was like not a big deal.
As we're talking it out, it's way more up in the air than I thought it was.
And then it was my turn. The fact that nobody named me as the potential winner, that the internet voted me as the least likely to win, an injured thumb from the bus bash, and that everyone came out so tired from the challenge wasn't encouraging. But despite it all,
I give myself a pointer, okay, don't waste unnecessary energy. I'm a bit nervous, but I'm also like dedicated. I'm gonna kick ass as best as I can.
I won my first round with relative ease, but the fun didn't stop there.
It's over. I'm like, okay, that was pretty cool. Probably the next ones are gonna be way harder. Feel someone wanting to wrap around a rear naked choke. I started defending early.
Since I shook off both attackers and made distance where I could run away, the judges scored this one as another win, but the two hardest fights were next.
I open my eyes and there's a knife. I see the head of my attacker. There's almost like this target on his head that appears. And I'm about to strike and then I'm like, wait, no. Maybe I should do some kind of an Aikido, wrist lock, push away the knife and start doing Aikido. And then I'm about to do that and suddenly I remember the 100 conversations I had about what you should do in that type of situation.
I managed to get one more win, but then there was the final fight.
Good job. Good, that's really good.
I'm suddenly super happy. I see the score, and then Jeff says,
She's sitting there so proud. She's got this proud look on her face.
your wife is also very happy, and I look at her and there's just this huge smile. That was a cool moment. I was very happy.
Yes, I'm a fix, baby.
Nice.
Yes.
Against all odds, I managed to score all 6 points, which raised me up in the leaderboard to share the second place with Sensei Seth.
What did you do for the knife one?
Take my wallet, man.
God damn it.
Yeah, you fighters.
Ramsey did that too.
Being in that situation, man, for real.
Then it was time for Matt Clinton.
You've got all these cameras on you, and you know you're going to be judged, and the whole world's going to see it. Made my heart beat a little bit faster.
So far Matt was doing great, but his real challenges were still coming.
Deep rear naked choke. Probably mentally gave up halfway through that. Don't know how you got out of that. Like, you just must have been a slippery little weasel.
Unfortunately, Matt didn't get a point for this one, and the two hardest challenges were next.
What do you want? It's in my pocket. You want me to get it? Yeah. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2.
recently, I feel like I've gotten super claustrophobic. He had grabbed the mask and the mask was just pushing up and I couldn't breathe. I wasn't worried about the fight. I was worried about being able to breathe and like a mental struggle. And I lost that mental struggle with myself. And I actually ended up saying like, yo, I need to just call it quits because I just had a little panic attack inside the helmet. That was disappointing, definitely disappointed about that, but I am happy with the fact that at that point in time I was still in a good tactical position.
Luckily for Matt, he was already in a dominant position and he had disarmed his attacker, so the judges gave him a win, leaving him with 6 points in total and passing Ramsey Dewey in the leaderboard. But more importantly, host Jeff Phillips noticed something else.
Matt knows to go to the face and to manipulate the neck. Everyone else is playing by MMA rules. You've noticed that? There's been no knees to the groin, none of that stuff too.
But he also knows he can get out. You're not waiting for him to come in.
Good job.
How did you feel? Surprisingly more nervous than I thought I would.
Well, we didn't help you, man.
Well, yeah, 100%. Seeing like Jeff came in like out of breath, and then Ramsey came in out of breath. Like these guys are 7 times as fit as I am. How about the knife one? I just gave him my money and walked away.
God damn you guys.
These guys fought him.
And next up, it was Icy Mike's turn.
You're gonna do great, Mike. Stop being worried.
Am I supposed to be stressed? You're stressing me now.
Going last was tough because I'm hearing everyone screaming and I'm just in the kitchen seeing people come back and they're like, ugh. No one's saying anything, but I'm watching literally 5 of martial artistest dudes I know and they're coming back.
Hey, Mike. 5, 4, 3. Down.
Although Mike won this one, fighting a much bigger opponent took a toll on him and he had to continue paying this price. Mike got another point for landing 2 big knees, but his tiredness kept building.
Felt to me that Jeff was more looking for, did you really do some good things to help solve this problem? Did you mitigate the damage? Did you not give up?
Icy Mike got another point for his knockout shots, but the real trouble was about to come.
You know what's good about this headgear? You can't do this in most headgear. Like you'd be blind right away. 5, 4, 3, 2. Not too hard, not too hard. Yeah, keep going, keep going. Not too hard. Grab your nuts. Let go, Sam, and grab your nuts, let go for a sec, then come back in. Yep. Keep going, keep going. Run out the side if you can. Keep going. Yeah, drop out, Adam. Got a good kick in the edge. Now roll back in.
It was funny because they're literally beating the shit out of me. And they're like, you need some water, mate. They were real good to me. And I start counting and then they try to kill me again. Yeah. And I kicked the knife out of his hand.
And then it was time for Mike's final round.
4, 3, 2.
Never in 5,000 rounds have I ever been rolled over like that, but you add all of these other variables.
Unfortunately for Mike, he didn't get the final point, keeping him still in the last place in the leaderboard.
That was the most exhausting piece of training I've ever been through, and I've done this type of course.
What's up, Mike?
I need to do a little bit more recovery training and cardiovascular training.
But day 2 out of 5 hasn't even finished yet.
I was scared. I was so scared.
Jeff was hid in the shadows somewhere. I didn't see him. Matt hid somewhere. I don't know.
Time's ticking, Mike.
Although the 6 YouTubers who came to Sydney, Australia to compete with each other to see who will become the ultimate self-defense champion have already fought on a bus and right away had to defend themselves against multiple unarmed and armed attackers in the headquarters, while they had plenty of impressions to share.
Technically, I knew what I was supposed to do, but the people that say size doesn't matter, I'm like, press the guy's guard, like knife through butter, then get immediately rolled, because it was just so strong.
Must have been like a 50, 60 pound difference for some of those dudes.
Brutal.
They only had an hour break before the fur challenge was introduced to them. For it, they were asked to wear t-shirts showing their anatomy, and then to make their way to a nearby warehouse together with a group of 6 big guys without knowing what's going to happen next. When they arrived, the following challenge was revealed to them. The competitors will be divided into 2 teams of 3. They will then enter the warehouse 1 team at a time and be given 5 minutes to hide. And there are plenty of places to hide, such as offices, an amphitheater, changing rooms, and more. Once the timer runs out, 6 attackers in pairs carrying markers representing knives will enter the warehouse through 3 different doors. But the competitors won't be allowed to leave the building until they will hear another 5-minute signal before they can escape through one of the 4 doors in the front of the building. If they succeed escaping the building, that will not yet be the end, as they will still have to make their way to this tree and touch it. Only once they do that, if the contenders will have no knife marks on their anatomy t-shirt, they will have officially escaped, scoring them 3 points. If by the time they reach the tree the competitors will have marks that are not deadly, they will receive 2 points. If the competitor is fatally wounded before they touch the tree, 0 points will be given. And the first team to go was Icy Mike, Sensei Seth, and Rokas Leo. Right after, a short montage of all the competitors running into the building while being chased.
Oh Christ, I'm cramping up and I'm getting nervous. I'm nervous. Yeah. This is gonna figure it out. Yeah.
I was very nervous about the hype go stab. I did not know what to do. I don't have a game plan.
I'm not a quiet person. I knew I was gonna have to run. And then I started looking around, I asked one guy, do you play any sports? And he was like, at the same time, we were like, rugby.
Even though we were opponents, we sort of agreed like, hey, somebody's gotta get some points. They're gonna get us unless we try to get as many advantages as possible.
The 3 competitors then made their way to the warehouse where they were intending to stick together. But
as soon as we go to the warehouse, we split. I'm on my own. I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do.
I ended up being on my own, while
Seth and I sort of worked together a little bit.
Hey, open a bunch of doors, Mike. Mike, what about in here? Look, lots of stuff in here.
Mike and I went underneath the amphitheater.
I mean, I think this is the move.
He helped me climb up onto a piece of furniture. And then we moved away the chair that I used so it would look impossible that a person could be up there.
Meanwhile, I was struggling to find a hiding spot and the timer ran out.
I have a bad feeling about this, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna go all or nothing. And I see this one restroom, which is completely dark. As soon as I enter, I can see nothing. I'm thinking the same is gonna happen to my attackers. So there's a door, and I decided I'm just gonna go by the door, sit down, and I'm gonna invest all of myself into that decision. So I'm sitting there covering my GoPro because it's shining with the light, and I start to hear footsteps.
Come out! Scary for me, man.
And he goes out. I'm like, this worked. And they start moving out of the area. Okay, I'm just gonna go. So I'm making my ninja way towards the exit. I turn a corner, place a foot outside of the wall, and I just peek slightly and I see them. I'm not sure, I think they saw me, but I wasn't sure. I'm like, okay, I go back to the same place. I sit down and I hear them coming back. I heard the guy coming into the restroom and he turns on the light. I'm just sitting there, squatted. I stand, I'm like, hey dude. And there's 2 of them. Later they told me that they saw my foot stepping out and that was all they needed.
Unfortunately, I did not escape the warehouse and was fatally wounded, getting 0 points. But Icy Mike and Sensei Seth, who were both hiding in the amphitheater, were employing their unique skill sets.
One thing I learned in ninjutsu, your body has very distinct V's. So you go like this, that's a V. Trying to disguise that and make it look harder to recognizing patterns.
And as the attackers were coming, they still had a plan up their sleeves.
Mike and I had planned that he was gonna throw a bottle. It felt like almost as soon as they walked in the door, somebody came and looked around the amphitheater. As soon as they were about to spot me, Mike throws a bottle, almost like a robot, and he walks the other direction. And I take off. And I try to be as loud as I can, so Mike then has them leave him. There's a chair, and I jump over the chair. I'm moving as fast as I can. Cut up the stairs and
Luckily for Sensei Seth, as soon as he reached the stairs, the second whistle signaling escape time was blown and he was free to leave the warehouse.
I open the door and all I see is bright daylight. So I go down the stairs. Dude, this is easy. I'm done. Because in my sight right now, there's a wall, green grass, and then there's my destination. As soon as I get past that wall, the freaking rugby player. And I fall onto the concrete, which is where I got this bad boy. I hop back up and then I tried to run a long way around him and try to get past him. Look, shove, stop, go. Running, shove, and then as we go down the hill, I trip and fall. He also slips down the hill, so he's now past me again. But he's past me between me and the tree. So I look up and I'm like, dude, let's just do it. And in that moment, I was so scared. This formidable opponent who I know can outrun me and has a knife is in front of me, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's just do it. Let's do it. And as we got closer, I changed my mind really quick. And then I pushed him in the face again. And then I tried running around him. And I got past him. And then he tackles me from behind. I just laid in the grass, looking up at this tree, and was like, if this is a real knife, I'd be bleeding out right now.
Unfortunately, Sensei Seth was also killed, and even though he was so close to the tree, receives 0 points.
I was so mad because I was so close, and he was in the worst spot I could possibly have had him in.
Now, before we jump back to Icy Mike in the amphitheater, some of you may be wondering, why are we escaping a warehouse full of knife attackers? In self-defense, fighting is by far not everything, as beating multiple attackers or weaponed opponents, as you may already know from episode 2, may be extremely difficult. So often, escaping or hiding, if that's an option, may be a much better choice. But that is a skill on its own, and may be more difficult to do than some think. That's why we are giving the contestants a chance to test their hiding, evading, and running away skills. Now back to Icy Mike, who was left in a tough spot.
Our plan was for when they came in, I would make noise, they would come around to my side, and Seth would make noise leaving, they would go after him. All of that worked.
What are you running for? Not me.
Except they didn't go after Seth.
There's 2 of you in there.
Yet despite the attacker staying with Icy Mike, he had the upper hand due to his previous experience as a police officer.
I've spent time on a bloodhound team, SWAT team, warrant service team. I've chased lots of dudes. I know what works and what doesn't. And it became a waiting game.
Time's ticking, mate.
And it's a weird tension. He knows I'm in there, but it's tough to be in my shoes there.
I see you.
Well, he knows I'm in here. I know he's in there. Let's do this. Let's make it happen. So I popped down and I played a shell game with the doors. I popped the least desirable set of doors open. Went back into my hiding spot. They took the bait. They run out.
So now I
went out the more desirable set of doors, and I'm out the door. I'm home free. I'm looking, the field is wide open. These guys don't know who they're dealing with. And I start running. And then I see Adrian. I'm gonna go home with my shield or on it. What else but a flying sidekick? Boom. Use it to change directions, and I'm off. Turn another corner. This might be a dead end. I don't even know the layout. I cut around this concrete thing. I can see the tree that I'm supposed to touch a couple yards away. Boom, he hits me from behind and rolls me up.
No! Dad! Damn, so
I hid for my life, sprinted for my life, and fought for my life. Gave everything I had and still came up a meter short.
Unfortunately, Icy Mike died and received 0 points.
Not doing too well so far. I said in the beginning, I don't need that belt. I have my own belt. Then I saw the belt, and then I really kind of wanted that belt. I want to win, and it's frustrating.
Luckily for Mike though, there are still 4 more challenges left and you're about to see 1 more of them. Before we continue with the second team escaping the warehouse, there's one challenge you did not see yet that happened on day 1 at the beach in Wollongong, Australia. Here, the contestants not only had a great time at the beach, but they were also going to do a grappling ring fight, where the goal was to stay in the circle and remain standing, since in self-defense, keeping your ground and staying your feet is very important, as you are much more vulnerable to attacks when on the ground. As soon as one of the competitors will touch the ground with both knees, hands, or one of each, they will be eliminated. The same applies to falling on your back or being pushed out of the circle. The last man standing will receive 6 points, the second last 5 points, and so on. And they will begin as soon as they are warmed up.
Seth, he was doing these sumo stretches the whole time. I'm like, dude, can you not do sumo stretches? It's freaking me out.
When I heard that it was a beach one, essentially just pushing people around, it was the best thing it could have been for me. When I was 4, I started eating protein bars to play professional football one day. I was being bred for that. Now I push people around in sand pits.
Hadn't slept for 2 days. Had a huge flight to get here. Jeff Chan, we arrived at the same time. He was also pretty sleep deprived. We just kept looking at each other like, there's a challenge today. Oh man, just want to take a nap, man.
Then when I heard it was gonna be everybody sumoing at once, I got nervous.
And then it was time for the challenge.
I know what I'll do. I'll run into the middle, spin a circle, and run out, and then start skirt around the outside.
I'm glad that Mike did his little thing where he ran into the circle and so I could just grab onto him.
The smaller guys take one look at me and they're like, nope.
My game plan at the beginning was stay out of the way. Somebody will eventually still get someone out, but I see this opportunity. Mike and Matt tangled together. This is my chance. Seth was in my way. I don't care about you. I just pushed him away. Bam!
And I felt us going. I could let Mike go and spare him, but then there was another part of me that was like, nah, f that. So I just stuck my underhook.
I'm gonna make sure Matt hits the ground first.
I did like a semi-sacrifice throw.
Fortunately for Mike, Matt hit the ground with his back first, giving Icy Mike 2 points and for the moment raising him up rank and leading Matt with 1 point.
My goal was to get as many 2 people out groups as I could. And then when other people engage, then I go for it again.
And he starts pushing me like that he's pushing me towards Jeff Chan. My plan is, okay, I'll just bump into Jeff Chan, and as Seth pushes me, I'm gonna push Jeff Chan out of the way. I almost had Jeff, and Jeff puts down a leg and frames and does some crazy Neo Matrix stuff. And then bam, I lose my support, I'm on the ground, I'm eliminated.
I get eliminated next, scoring 3 points. But the 3 guys still had a battle to settle.
3 of us left, and I'm like, let's go for him. I go for Jeff because I'm afraid of the doubling.
Sensi Seth eliminated Jeff Chan, leaving Jeff with 4 points and us with the final battle between Sensi Seth and Ramsey Dewey.
Ramsey was much stronger than I expected. He starts doing push hands on my stomach.
Tai Chi Chuan, the Tai Chi nerds, be like, yes, we're validated now because he used some push hands technique. Now that the pushing is over, now I'll showcase my grappling, I'll tie up with him. That was my mistake. I should have kept pushing.
At the end, Ramsey Dewey scored 5 points and Sensi Seth got 6 points, winning the challenge and making him the current leader. And now it was time for us to get back to Team 2 at the warehouse, which consisted of Jeff Chan, Matt, and Ramsey Dewey.
I was scared. I was so scared.
I thought I was gonna have that in the bag because I've kind of transitioned a lot of my martial arts training to more like parkour-based training.
A lot of folks were probably thinking, how do I win this? What's the best hiding spot? And I'm just thinking like, what happened? 6 dudes with knives intent on murdering you. I want to know, what did I do to these guys beforehand to make them want to murder me?
Going into the building, Team 2 decided to stick together and devised an elaborate plan.
Jeff was like, I feel like I got a really good rear naked choke. If we can just catch one by surprise, I'll sink that in. I was like, sick, okay. I'll go for the knife arm. Ramsey, if there's another one, you just keep him at bay. We're all in agreement. So I turned around to look at the door. I turned back around. They had both disappeared.
So we came up with a plan, which we didn't follow at all. All right, 1, 2, 3, go. Let's execute the plan. Suddenly everybody went in a different direction, which was not the plan at all. Jeff was hid in the shadows somewhere. Matt hid somewhere, I don't know. And I was like, well, I guess I should probably hide.
I was at a hiding spot behind the bleachers.
Then unfortunately for the competitors, the first whistle was blown and the attackers began their hunt. And even more unfortunately for Jeff Chan, one of them made his way right to his hiding spot.
As soon as I heard like one of the guys walking by, my heart was like beating so hard and loud. Like I did not want to get caught. It was like dun 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 dun, like the fastest I've ever. The guy walked past me, didn't see me. I'm like, yes. Then he walks by again, didn't see me again. And then he saw the GoPro light. He was trying to stab me. I actually caught his wrist and I was controlling for a while. And then I broke free and I booked it, I ran. So I'm the first person who got caught. So now everyone here is running.
Yet Jeff couldn't leave the building yet since there was no second whistle, so he had to run and fight his way through.
Everyone gathers together and there's 4 or 5 guys now on me. There's only one path and eventually I got through to one of the doors and I knew I trapped myself. So I closed the door and then they eventually worked their way through the other doors.
Despite putting up a good fight, Jeff Chan was fatally stabbed and gets 0 points. But there was still chance for Matt and Ramsey Dewey.
I bolted up to the 3rd floor on the ladder. You can kind of see down. I could see people coming in and looking. Then I heard Jeff scuffle and he sprinted out. One out, I just heard him get stabbed to death. Started slowly making my way down, and then as I was climbing from the 2nd level to the ground level, someone came in the room and I was like, oh, I didn't think there was any way for me to get down to the 1st level and then get out the door, so I ended up going back up the ladder, because there's only one ladder up. So I was like, what are you gonna do, chase me up and stab me while I'm kicking you in the face? I don't think so, buddy.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Stab my fuck.
I did swear a lot, so I apologize for the language, but I had to get emotionally invested. They're chasing me with knives. I just want them to know that, like, you a little bit.
Get the down! I wouldn't actually kick you, but I'd just like to point out, I would be kicking you right in the face.
Pretended to kick him in the face, but then I remembered probably can't actually kick him in the face.
I would be kicking you in the face, theoretically.
So then I ran away. I went up the 2nd flight of stairs. I went up another flight of stairs.
I'm not responsible for your falling death.
And the gaps in the railings are like more than enough for you to fall through. Someone opened another secret door and I got cornered in the corner. Okay, I want to go down swinging, but also I don't want anyone to actually die, and I know you got me here. I'm not gonna fight you because I don't want to fall to my death.
I'm dead. I'm big time dead.
If I had to do it again, I had just gone for a safety in numbers approach, hide with everybody, and try to actually enact that plan we had in the first place.
Unfortunately, Matt was another person down, and Ramsey Dewey was the last chance for someone to score any points.
Now, I'm a bit of an expert in hide and seek. If you have spent a meaningful amount of time with your own small children, you've probably played hide and go seek. And if you live in a fairly small apartment like I do, you only have so many places to hide, so you have to understand the nuances of light and shading and shadow and your eyes adjusting to the dark. So I found the best hiding place where people would look directly at me for as long as possible and not see me.
Ramsey did find the perfect hiding spot under the bleachers, as no one could find him even though they were close.
Ramsey! Ramsey, he's not upstairs. The small guy will be able to hide this.
But while he was hiding, others were dying.
One by one, I heard everybody getting killed. First I heard Jeff Chan and I was thinking, I need to go help Jeff. Jeff's in trouble, but then by the time I had this thought, it was too late and Jeff was gone. Matt made a valiant last stand. He was loud, he was bold, he was brave, but eventually they got him too.
Eventually though, the attackers changed their strategy.
I'm gonna get Ramsey.
I had my ear to the floor because I could feel their footsteps. Eventually they stopped, and I could tell they stopped next to one of the exits.
Finally, Ramsey Dewey was set to make a move.
Slowly, quietly, I crept out. I looked down the hallway, saw they were next to one of the exits. That moment, I made my fundamental mistake. I should have simply walked quietly and slowly, and I would have made it. But instead, I sprinted, and that motion caught their peripheral views.
Oh, there he is. That little sneaky bastard.
Run, Ramsey, run!
They outran me. I had the sweatshirt. I tried to tie up the first guy with the knife. Second guy came in, and then the rest lambasted me. That was it. If I knew about the bleachers beforehand, I would have got everybody together, Matt and Jeff, to hide in that exact same spot and then just do exactly what I did. But I felt bad. I felt bad leaving my team behind, man. That sucked.
Unfortunately, Ramsey, you also failed to get points in this challenge, but the contenders will have another chance at a team effort in a challenge that they would have never guessed.
Jesus. Watch this door. Watch your back.
Show me your neck. Go to that couch.
Now listen, we can't fight each other. Oh,
Just as one!
I am so banged up. You know those pictures where it's like showing the evolution of man? When I wake up in the morning after a day like yesterday, I feel like I start like this, and as the day goes on, I'm like, okay, I am also like very banged up. How do you feel? Do you feel?
Oh, I'm sore. I'm super sore, but I need to work out this once a week. What was yesterday? No, like weights.
Those guys are weights.
Those guys were.
The 6 martial arts YouTubers who came to Sydney, Australia to see who will become the ultimate self-defense champion have already completed 4 different self-defense challenges, and although their bodies were beginning to take a toll,
Look at this. I know. Look,
oh, that's nice and blue.
it's actually smaller than yesterday.
and even though they tried a local Australian delicacy known as Vegemite to mixed results,
I kind of like it.
Oh wait,
Ah, there it went.
they were still in good moods.
Dude, I didn't even know you were there. I thought it was sad.
I'm so happy.
I was like, yes. You're like, I'm gonna get it. I thought you got me out.
And they were in especially good mood since today was a rest day, during which they had a chance to visit a local zoo, feed kangaroos, and discuss how they would beat up animals.
Jeff, what's your strategy here? I jump over it, I stomp, I try to rear naked choke it.
But little do they know that after they cracked each other's backs and received colored shirts to distinguish each contender, in the evening a special event was waiting for them, and they are about to find out what it is.
Come in, come in.
See, I don't like it that I can't see anybody.
But there's kids around.
Oh, there's something!
Stop there! Please! It hasn't started yet, stop! Zombies over there. Other guys here. I'm gonna explain what's gonna happen.
It turns out the contenders will be facing a zombie apocalypse. They will be yet again split into 2 teams, although Matt Clinton wasn't able to make it to the special event and he was replaced by my wife Gabby. The contenders will be facing 4 different tasks: to acquire weapons, to find a set of keys and progress to the following area, to rescue a group of survivors, and then to find car keys to escape the building. One team will be performing a single task at a time and then switch. If the contender will hit the zombie in the head with an acquired weapon, the zombie will die. If a zombie will bite one of the contenders, that contender will be permanently eliminated from this event and turn into a zombie. During the first tasks, to ensure the zombies would move at appropriate zombie speed, they will be wearing resistance bands, and they will be wearing red paint on their lips to see who was bit. This event is not part of the Ultimate Self-Defense Championship challenges, so no points will be received. And now, let the surviving begin.
Like, we don't even have these in America.
Australia is nothing.
Although the 6 survivors made their way to an abandoned facility, they soon got separated into 2 groups, and their real challenges were about to begin. First, they needed to arm themselves, but the weapons were in 3 different lanes behind 3 different blind zombies that lost their sight from chemical burns at a toxic leak. But their hearing was still intact, and the noisy gravel on the ground made things worse.
What are you going to do?
I'm going in the same one as you.
Oh, we're going both.
Yeah, we're going in the same one.
Oh, okay.
Then slowly, the survivors started making their way towards the weapons as they tried to distract the blind zombies by making noise.
I hopped back onto the concrete where you couldn't really hear my footsteps. I take 1 step, 2 step, and then I hear, and it's Jeff Chan just sprinting down and back. So I'm like being quiet, and then all of a sudden all you can hear is Jeff Chan running around. So I just walked the rest of the way. my god.
Thank you.
No worries.
Did you do by yourself?
Yes.
Oh, I was the only one. I was so scared.
I was being so good and quiet, and I had like a decoy going. He was facing the other way. And then all of a sudden you started running, I was like, oh, well, I could just walk now.
The first group survived the encounter and acquired weapons, but the second group was still yet to face the same challenge.
I'm thinking, Mike, since you're the smallest, does it make sense that you're the one who's sneaking by? Yeah. We make noise and try to get him to this side. If he's going for you, we try to trap him and wait for you until you get the weapon. There we go.
The second group of survivors managed to get their first weapon, but 2 more weapons still needed to be acquired.
I'll distract him so you can kill him. You have the honors.
After the second group acquired 2 weapons, they dealt with the third zombie with ease.
Got fresh brain. Come on. Right here. There you go.
Until...
I'll get the weapon.
Look out. Make sure you look.
Mother!
Luckily, the last attack was not a zombie, and all 3 survivors of Group 2 survived to continue forward. Once the first group of survivors did some weapon practice, they entered the facility in search of a key to a locked door, which is hidden in one of the rooms. But since they didn't know which room it was in, they had to search the whole area.
That's good. Watch his door. Watch your back. Watch your back. Hey, hang out, hang out. Hang on.
I don't see anybody on this side.
Okay. Watch these doors. Hey, look, should we open these doors now? There's somebody in there.
There is?
There is. Oh, no one. Yeah, dog it. No, that's cool. Hey, here. Sorry. Hey, watch all the doors. Watch all the doors. Push it. Oh, hell no. Oh.
You can see something?
Hey, here we go. Man, that's dark in there.
There's no way.
Well, you don't look at that. There's music in here. Bad stuff happens when there's music.
Luckily for the survivors, the room was clear, and they proceeded to the next doors.
I will go and check. Someone is coming.
Just camera. Stand by. Is that so? Watch, look, we got 3 doors here. I'm gonna keep this one closed. Open this one.
We can't open it.
We can't?
No.
Are you sure?
It's no.
Okay. Okay, 1, 2. Nobody's in there. Unless they're down there. What about this one? Hey, look, left. Back up. Let's get these two. You get this. Gabby, watch the guy on the left.
Here, I see it. Come.
Outside.
Sorry, I wanted to make sure. I got it.
Let's go.
The first group successfully retrieved the keys and were ready to progress to the next area. But the nightmare for the second group was about to begin. Before entering the facility, the second group decided on a strategy.
Do we stick together?
Oh yeah, no, we're together all the way. I'm the bait, I'm the rabbit.
Okay.
You guys are the hunter. I'll move in and out and get
I have a long reach, so I can.
If we're going this way, there's no reason for you two to look this way. I promise you, if my eyes are that way, you don't need to look that way.
Once they were set on a strategy, they were ready to enter and begin their trials.
One on the right.
So there's one.
I want you to thrust that way.
There's one right
At the bottom of some steps. Blind corner here.
Okay, what do we do? I take the right?
3, 2, 1. You go that way. I go this way. Okay. Ramsey, your eyes are free safety. 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Deal with it.
Good.
Eyes up.
Mike,
I'm gonna get one.
Mike.
Huh.
Can I see an idea? Yeah. That's light, and this is dark. Do you think we should go that way? Yeah.
No, like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Why? Ramsey.
Yeah.
Hold this point. Rocus with me.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
Hard corner. Eyes that way, to the center.
Yeah. Good. There's not.
The survivors then cleared the area, regrouped,
Lock.
and scouted an empty room. After which, they were ready to progress to the next hallway.
Can you see in that corner? I'm going on that corner. And you're right behind me, covering this.
Okay.
When I move, you gotta be on my ass. As soon as I move, Ramsey, I need you to shove a weapon in this space. Rocus, you have to get in the middle. Everyone move.
All is one. Big room, multiple.
Listen, I'm going 10 feet in. We make a back-to-back triangle. This has to be stuck to me, like stuck to me.
That's fine. It's fine. Wide berth. This corner's clear.
Left. Careful. This one's probably.
The second survivor group so far also survived without casualties, retrieved the keys, and were ready to face the next challenge.
Got one here. We got one Down at the end.
The first survival group unlocked the door and entered the office area where a group of other survivors were trapped. And right before that, they developed a plan that they decided to follow meticulously.
I can open the door and shut it, and you can be the...
We do have longer arms.
We just go and
back to back and
we go and kill.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if their plan will succeed, they will know only by facing what awaits them.
Watch this door here. Looks like... I don't think there's anybody in there. Maybe under the desk.
No, there isn't.
Nobody in here. Okay, clear. Get this one. Oh, wait. Be careful, be careful, be careful.
There is nobody.
Yeah, I think we just go get him, honestly. No, let's wait, let's be patient. There's somebody in there. Oh my gosh. I'm keeping this. Hold it close. Keep hold it close. You go. Yep. You holding that close?
Yes.
I'm just gonna go. Let's get this one. We gotta get him now or he's gonna be a problem later. He really does want us to get out. Excuse me? Alright, let's go. Yeah. I think that room's... I think it's it. Okay, here's one. Oh, he's got a freaking fire extinguisher. Watch behind. Here, back to back against the wall.
You killed him already?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, make sure this one real quick. Did we clear this one? No, I did. All the way? Oh, excuse me, Zombie. I don't want to kick you. Yeah, good idea. Here, I'll go. Oh, under here. You got the keys? In due time, children. Hold on, pause. What if they're zombies?
They are not.
Look at them.
They're making... Do you have a key?
I don't have a key.
Do you have a key?
Hey, look at me. Psst. Open up. I need confirmation.
Yeah!
Come on. Yeah, you guys are great. You're not zombies, right? You're not zombies? Show me like emotions. Okay.
The first group managed to successfully save the trapped survivors.
I will protect you.
And progressed to the last area of the building. But there are no guarantees that the second group will fare as well. Before the second group of survivors entered the office area, they decided to rely on one of their members' former skill set as a police officer, and they spent time practicing room clearing techniques. But whether that will help the survivors, they were about to find out.
I'll take left, ready to take right. Lucas, you just cover that. Don't advance towards it.
I covered the door. Got it.
Just cover it as well. Are you fit?
I don't know.
Hey, Ramsey, do me a favor.
Was there Ramsey?
Hey, Ramsey?
Yeah. Wait.
Unfortunately, one of the survivors didn't make it, but his valiant efforts that helped the rest of the group to get to this point will not be forgotten.
How do you progress? We gonna clear the room?
Yeah, we're gonna clear every room.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. I need you to watch this while I hide this.
Yeah, I have your list.
You just look this way. I don't need you in this room at all.
With only 2 survivors left in the group, the odds were stacked against them, but the survivors were not ready to give up yet.
Watch your backs. Watch your backs. Yeah, watch your backs.
Yeah.
The 2 survivors continued to clear each room carefully until eventually they confronted an obstacle.
Oh, I had that wrong. I had it wrong, yeah. There's one in there, yeah.
Okay, this one? Yes, this one. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All clear.
Let him out, let him out. That corner's clear. Watch the hallway.
The luck of the survivors ran out, and another one of them was bit and then killed by the other survivor, leaving only one member of the second group to continue on his own.
What is this? What do I do with this? What do I do with it? Is there any in there with you?
Yeah, my girls, I come.
Did they bite you?
Girls.
Did they bite you?
No.
Is there any of them in there with you?
We're not bitten.
Are they?
Get out, girls. Don't hurt us. Don't hurt us.
Do you want your girls to live? Then you do what I say. You get them up, you get them to a couch right here.
Girls, get out, now.
Go to that couch. Show me your arms.
Oh my God.
What's this? Were you bit? Did one bite you? Did one of them bite you? Hey, did one of them bite her? One did?
We're not bitten. We're not bitten.
Sorry.
We're not bitten. We just killed her.
Yeah. Shut up!
It turns out the lone survivor killed an innocent girl, as the bite was a misunderstanding, and as he escorted the grieving mother and her second daughter, soon enough he encountered and joined the first group.
Listen, I'm aware of what you guys must think of me. That girl was bit. She had a bite on her arm. The other girl said she was bit. And when I looked into the mother's... Shit happens, man. It's a fucking zombie apocalypse. When I looked into the mother's eyes and asked, "Are you bit?" she wouldn't answer. She knew. That girl was toast.
Then how about Robert? You did a bad job. You killed my husband. Come on. I know that it was your dream to do a solo. You wanted more zombies, that's why you killed Robert.
She's getting to the bottom of this.
He did it on purpose. He did it on
Now
purpose.
listen, we can't fight each other. We can't help that Mike is a savage. He's the only one we've got. I say we let him go by himself.
Despite his troubled past, the survivors decided to take a risk and accept the lone wolf survivor into the group. And after they armed themselves, they continued their way to the final room as a team, where they were about to face the final battle and acquire a set of car keys to escape the facility.
Okay, nothing under here.
Don't use the. No, you never use the elevators. You never use the elevators.
They're here.
How come they can't work buttons?
Despite the growing unrest, the group reached the final room and were ready to enter it and face whatever awaited them.
They're all in there. It's an infestation.
There's so many.
We definitely don't go from over. We go around.
There was under. There was.
Back. Watch this curtain.
No.
That's a zombie.
Yeah. This one moves different. This one's moving different. Don't fixate. Don't target fixate. There's two. Me and Jeff got him. Watch behind us. Gabby, you alive?
Hey, Mike, come in. This one here. We got one coming around the stairs. Jeff, back up. Back up.
Add one!
Oh, Jesus Christ, I thought that was a...
They're 2 hits! They're 2 hits!
Oh my goodness, I thought things just got really real. Oh yeah, good idea. Sorry. You gotta...
No problem.
One more survivor was lost, but the remaining group still did not know where the keys were.
Listen, ears.
Look, I sleep under here.
Right there? Here.
Yeah.
Alex.
We're back up.
Let's capture one.
Let's capture one?
Yeah, let's capture one.
Are you watching behind us, Mike? Hey, you got eyes behind? You see one? Okay. I see him with the glow stick.
Yeah. They're a little different.
Yeah, they're glowing.
Wait, set. Hold on. Nobody move. Nobody fucking move.
Jesus Christ, is this us?
It's me. It's me. I got the rear. Hey, I watch the rear. Nothing will come behind you.
It is a little too dark for us to be moving fast.
On our 6, 2 fast movers creeping.
Move back.
Watch behind us, Watch behind us. We got this. Oh, Jeff Chan in this.
I'm good.
Regroup, they're up.
Look, they're up. Oh, we got a time limit. We gotta get under there. Hey, Jeff, let's get under there. Let's move. Yeah, but we gotta move fast. We gotta get up. Got those keys, boy. Got those keys, boy. Oh, what? Are they still? Oh my gosh. For the lanyard. Heads up.
The 2 survivors successfully made their way out of the facility and drove away to safety. But the lone survivor was lost at the very end and killed as a turned zombie. Yet, he will not be forgotten as much as all the other survivors who sacrificed their lives so that others could make it.
It was so confusing. The bloody guy was saying he stabbed someone. What am I here for?
Whoa. This is not what I planned.
After competing in 4 different self-defense challenges in 2 days to see who will become the ultimate self-defense champion, the 6 YouTubers were beginning to feel the toll both on their bodies and minds.
Oh, sore. It's like I'm literally in fight camp, but worse.
Worse?
This is the first time he said any of this. This whole time I was like, gosh, Jeff James is cool. Every time something negative came out of my mouth, I was like, oh, Seth, just suck it up.
And I should not have done Watson deadlifts.
Oh no!
I am hurt. I am tired. I have holes in various parts of my body. I'm spending way too much time with Sensei Seth.
It's another thing to prepare for like 3 fights a day for 5 days.
And although the special zombie event on the free day did slightly lift up their moods,
and then there were zombies. I was literally born to do this.
It was really, really fun. It was literally a live video game.
the tension before the 5th challenge was high, and the contenders were feeling especially stressed since they were intentionally given very little information about it in order not to precondition their responses. All they knew was that the challenge was called Scenarios, and only after they complete the first one, they will be given more information. But in order to improve the situation, on their way to the second facility, they used some kick-ass music to set the right tone. And then once they were warmed up and geared up, the contenders were given a very brief introduction.
It's going to go, one person goes, come back, next one goes. Have you met MJ? She is your significant other for this drill. She's going to basically now take you into a situation and you're in there with her, okay? That's all I'll tell you.
Oh, gear wise.
Helmet up, yeah, put it on. It's better to be safe than sorry.
And the first one was invited to begin the challenge.
I think it's gonna be 2 versus 1. I think it's gonna be like 5 versus 1, like gang fight.
So Jeff, meet your blind date. No, she's not your blind date. She is your...
Time you got here, the movie's about to start. Hurry up. Have you seen like the first in the series?
No, I haven't.
The devil sits This whole place is empty.
I was expecting the guy to just push me and then we would fight on the seats.
I said you're very funny.
Do you know what I find funny? The fact that you're touching him like a
What
are you like?
We'll talk later, Pierre.
Yeah, but you can't just like the whole cinema is empty.
Well, no, look. I got 3, mate. 1, 2, 3.
You're gonna sit here and take this?
You on that side. You on that side.
How about you move?
You enjoy the movie.
Like,
You enjoy the movie.
don't sit here. What kind of man are you? You got my
Shut up! What do you really want?
I'm in a damn cinema.
You're on that side.
I want to be with a real man, not someone that's just gonna sit there and take it like that.
Oh, your husband's a anyway.
And cut. They're beating rank, so it depends on what other
So I could have
ID. You could have fought him if you wanted to.
There's not one specific answer.
No, it could go any way. We're ranking you in order of who does better.
As it turns out, for this challenge, each contender and scenario will be ranked individually, based on what the contender did well to improve the situation and what they did wrong to make it worse. They will initially all be given 3 points for each scenario, and additional points will be added or deducted based on the quality of their actions. Their final score for each scenario will be added to the scoreboard, and there will be 3 different scenarios in total.
I want to start a dialogue because people make these hard and fast rules in the world of self-defense, and quite often they're wrong. Nothing's black and white.
And as for Jeff Chan's score, for changing seats and getting between the attacker and the girlfriend, and for doing an all-around good job at de-escalating the situation, he receives a +1 point to his total, and no point deductions since no major mistakes were made, leaving him with 4 points for this scenario.
Being me would have wanted to fight. The old me would have. But with my fiance, she would be so angry at me. I would get in way more trouble with her than any sort of fight.
And next up was Ramsey Dude.
Well, sorry about that. How you doing today, sir?
My wife is mood. Jeff James.
Yeah, okay. He's laughing. He seems jovial. He's probably not going to start trouble. He seems too happy.
No, keep your hands to yourself.
Would you like to change places? Good movie, huh? And then some of the guys in front look up. Oh, they're going to say, hey, shut up there. And they're going to start a fight.
At least he's got to miss it.
MJ, oh man, she was the provoker.
I'm sorry, how are we going to take this outside?
Seriously, what would happen if I just walked out right now and be like, bye, have fun fighting each other? Well, nobody died, so that's a success.
But unfortunately, that's not how the judges saw the situation.
We managed to run around and punch Alex in the head.
Drop him down to a 2. I was able to go in and physically assert myself over Alex.
We're talking self-defense as in, he still protected you and himself.
Alex probably would have hit her back. He allowed them to get around and fight, just that Alex didn't fight back.
Had Alex fought back in that situation, then
yeah.
Unfortunately for Ramsey, although he did a number of things well, he made the critical mistake of giving an opportunity for his girlfriend to physically assault the other person, potentially leading the situation to catastrophic results, and leaving Ramsey Dewey with only 2 points for this scenario. Meanwhile, the others had more luck.
I see a drunk guy is coming in, so I'm like, hey, do you want to switch seats?
I told you to sit there before.
Great, okay, I'm sitting on the edge. He's gonna come over here, sit next to me. MG safer.
How are you? Oh, good. I'm just trying to get the D3.
Walks past me and MG, I'm like,
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry.
I know I'm the worst. Sorry. How are you, man?
You've got like the whole cinema to sit in? The only D here is you. Like you.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell? I'll smack about my boy. What the fuck, dude?
We're done.
I could have been more strict earlier, and I think that's where trouble lies. Our politeness gets to us.
Who was the best?
Honestly, Ruckus. Ruckus was the only one that tried to actually take control of the situation by forcibly removing me, because he identified that I was the problem in that situation.
When things started to go pear-shaped, straight away he said, we're out.
I reckon Matt was number 1, because remember we had that chat to you outside?
Yeah.
Before we go in, we're just gonna have a chat.
I do this with my real life partner, my fiance, Christina. Hi, Christina.
A bit dangerous in there if anything happens. What do you do? What's the plan?
We both know what our roles are. If anything really bad goes down, her role is to run and call the police. My role is to also escape that situation as soon as I can, but before I can do that, she has to be somewhere safe.
But we can sit here first. Why can't he move? Let's sit over here.
No. D3's my seat. Okay, we're gonna go. Yeah, come on, little man.
For taking a preemptive step and doing an all-round great job, Matt got 5 points, for the moment bringing him to a share total score with Ramsey Dewey.
The scenario training, I thought I was going to do terrible at. I always get caught a little flat because it just reads fake. But they had probably one of the greatest improvisational actors of our generation, MJ.
I beg your
You have to. Sorry, mate. Stop doing that. We're going.
And then there was Seth.
I have been on some really unfortunate dates.
Watch where you're walking. Hey, look. Hey, it's my friend.
Been put in some really weird situations.
Husband is a dick,
I beg your pardon?
They start yelling at each other. I red flag number, like who knows how many at this point. I would have broken up with her a long time ago.
You're a black belt with 2 white stripes. You can probably kick your ass.
She tried to hit me with some Budo code for crazy girls, I guess. I don't have to defend Your Honor. Your Honor seems a little skewed. They started throwing water at each other. I think I like avatared it and blocked it.
Let's go.
I was actively breaking up with her as we walked down the stairs.
I agree.
And hopefully lived a much happier life.
Unfortunately, while Sensei Seth did a number of things right, his de-escalation took much longer than others and was close to getting out of hand a number of times, leaving him with 3 points and back to sharing the first spot with Jeff Chan.
People talking movie theater, my biggest pet peeve. My second one is when people don't put their shopping cart back.
And now it was time for the second scenario.
No violence the whole time.
I'm ready for violence.
And Jeff Chan was the first one to go again.
Put this over. This makes me. Yeah, I'll read you. And action.
Chill.
Now, before you freak out, let me point out that the blood was tomato sauce and the poop was Nutella. But the situation itself is more from real life than some of you could expect.
We'll work in corrections, and in corrections, if someone doesn't want to be detained, they just basically get fecal matter, rub it all over themselves, so no one wants to touch them.
And each one of our guys will have to figure out a way to deal with this situation.
Blindfolded, I don't know what, and he's like, take a deep breath. I thought he was coaching me, and it was like straight up eggs. Well, it was just shit.
We did have a stink bomb to engage all the senses.
And we will come back to see how Jeff Chen did at the end. But first, let's see how the other guys did, starting with me.
stepping out of the shower and I see this bloody guy. My first instinct is to help him, and then suddenly I see Poop Man appear, and I see he has kind of a sharp edge in his hand, and I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? He looks kind of confused, and I'm not sure if he's aggressive or not. I do not want to provoke the situation, so I put my elbow in front of him so I would have a frame. I grab his hand, and I'm seeing is he aggressive or not. My concern, if I'm gonna try to grab the knife, he's gonna get aggressive, he's gonna attack me. So I'm starting to talk to him like, is it okay if I grab your knife? And then suddenly, Blood Man, he grabs the knife. I'm like, oh, he's trying to help me. So nice of him. And he starts cutting himself. I'm like, whoa, 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 this is not what I planned. So I have to grab both guys. What the heck do I do now? So I start guiding them out of the shower. Eventually, I reach the door, I open, and I'm like, can anybody help me here? Now, I feel that I did an amazing job. This is perfect. I saved everyone. I did not get attacked. I did not provoke a fight. Later, I learned that I did not get the max score for this because...
First, let's check in with two more guys who made the same mistake I did. Icy Mike and Ramsey Dewey.
It was so confusing. The bloody guy was saying he stabbed someone. I was like looking at him, and then a humongous, like enormous, like an impossibly big creature covered in shit emerges.
The Poop Man, oh boy. And they're both saying incoherent, crazy ramblings. They're talking like mental patients. I guess that's the scenario.
Now I'm 99.99% certain it's not real shit, but I didn't want to get any on me.
The dude who was bleeding, I heard him say, I'm sorry for stabbing your brother. So apparently this is like some sort of revenge scenario that played out. I'm very interested. Why did Poop Man stab Blood Man?
Here's my thing about a guy who's been stabbed up. I don't know why. Maybe I had it coming. I don't know. It's not my problem.
Poop Guy starts shambling a little bit closer. He raises up the thing, and so I go for top double wrist lock, put him on the floor.
So I'm getting out of there, but Poop Guy was in the way. The biggest problem with the shit guy is I kicked him, and he was humongous. He didn't go anywhere.
Let go of the weapon. He doesn't. I crank on the wrist a little more, let go of the weapon. Eventually he does.
Then he tried to kill me, and I had to fight a guy covered in shit. And then I booked it out of there.
I saved the day. I'm a hero, man.
Unfortunately, that's not how the judges saw the situation.
You're the most important person in self-defense, mostly. Not if you have a significant other or someone else there.
And before we break down everyone's performance, here's what got Jeff Chan 5 points for this scenario.
Chill. Whoa. Is everything okay?
Hands up! Jeff is number one by a wide margin. Brain out the door. He got very little shit on him.
It turns out in this type of situation, the best solution is to get out of the way. As how Jeff Phillips puts it, in self-defense, you are the most important person to protect. And by doing so, Jeff gets the max score. Meanwhile, while I saved both people, I was putting my own life at risk by engaging with them. And while Ramsey received the point for disarming and kicking away the glass shard, he lost points for engaging, turning his back to one of the mental patients who could have attacked him then, and for having direct contact with a blood wound, which could have led to an infection, leaving him with only 2 points for these crucial mistakes, and me with a total of 3 points. And while Icy Mike had the right idea of not trying to help,
this guy had no intention of stabbing anyone, but after Mike kicked him, he did.
He risked escalating the situation by engaging instead of running away, leaving Mike with 3 points for his performance. Meanwhile, here's what happened to Matt and Sensei Seth.
Oh my god, hey, what happened? You okay?
I see super bloody guy.
Hey man.
Immediately I'm like, bing. And then I see Poop Guy.
Hey, whoa. Hey, stop right there. What's up, buddy? You okay?
I'm asking questions, I'm trying to talk him down, trying to figure out what's happening.
Move over here. Are you talking to me?
Actually, I get really frustrated because I can't hear who's talking. It's kind of driving me mad. People talking in the movie theater, people talking in poop.
Hey, look. No. We're not passing this around.
The man off to the right takes the knife off of Poop Man and then starts to cut himself. That changed my perspective. They're both crazy and I need to get the fuck out of here.
I go to push him up, so I'm hoping I can scoot through and under. He reaches with this hand. I go like this and he poops my eye.
For escaping and not putting himself at too much risk, Matt gets 4 points, putting him in the 4th position, and Seth almost gets 4, but he did physically engage with the Poop Man, leaving him with 3 points and putting him in the 2nd position.
Do you get a point for surviving, or who gets the less shit on you?
If I got poop in my eye, I mean, I feel like that's not good.
That's not good.
And the contenders were then ready for the 3rd and last scenario, but they still did not know what to expect.
Being led towards the room, and I'm looking at every corner. Am I gonna get jumped right now?
Yet they were not jumped on the way, but instead led to an office area where they met MJ again.
What am I here for?
But this time in a different role that they were about to find out what it was.
See these other guys sitting. Okay, so they're gonna attack me. No, I pass by them.
Thank you so much for joining me. Come on through.
I enter an office and I see my boss, the lady. Okay, so probably somebody's gonna get into the room and attack me.
I heard you got married recently. Very lucky lady.
But my brain is half on the conversation, half on the door, waiting for someone to step in. She starts to come closer and I start to realize, oh, she's probably my assailant.
Consistent pattern. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And she has a pen. That may be a weapon. Maybe she's like a psycho.
Because of this consistently poor performance, it's sort of beyond a performance management plan. But the good news is we can fix this.
Then I'm starting to get some flirty vibes. If I'm gonna engage into this, she's just gonna stab me in the neck and I'm gonna die.
No, you just said yourself, I just got married.
Marcus, I think it's best if you take a seat.
She blocks the way and my first concern is, there's the weapon, she's gonna stab me now. So I lock the arm.
Please don't touch me like that. That's really inappropriate.
I'm thinking, now 2 security guys are gonna run in, they're gonna attack me, and that's my defensive situation. I'm gonna have to explain to them that I did nothing wrong and framing so she wouldn't attack me with a pen, and I hear,
Alright, did you touch my boob?
I'm like, yes, I did touch your boob.
He's like assaulting me. Hello, somebody help me. Where is security?
I'm looking for those 2 guards. Open the door, I step out and Jeff's like, okay, so MJ was the psycho girl that was supposed to kill me. Turns out, no, she was supposed to just abuse me.
It appears I misread the situation, as the real subject was much more serious and important.
We're trying to cover holistic self-defense, and I know that one of the things that people will criticize us is saying all we have here is a bunch of guys punching on. It's not really addressing true self-defense. A lot of people claim that 90% of it is other things that happen, like domestic violence, family violence. So we wanted to address that in some format, but without being too distasteful, maybe slightly distasteful, and also to address some of the issues that may happen with women. I have no doubt that that happens to women all the time, and so to flip it around on you guys, it's not an attempt to be funny, it's something that's kind of serious, and to cover that one box. This is probably more likely to occur to people than someone jumping out with a knife and stabbing you. Yes, well done. Good job. You tell him if you did well.
At the end, yeah, you touched it.
The judges saw some good decisions in my performance, such as standing up from the chair early, and bad ones, such as becoming too physical, leaving me with an average score of 3 points. Meanwhile, Jeff Chan learned a valuable lesson.
I understand that people have bad months, so we're starting to see a bit of a pattern here. But the good news is that we can fix this.
I'm gonna be very direct. I said, okay, I'm leaving now. When she said something again, I turned around and was like, yeah, I'm gonna go. And I still kind of fed into her by talking to her. Although I'm saying no, I'm too nice of a person to just completely straight up walk away. But her feedback was, that tells me that you want it. So I didn't think of that.
Although Jeff did great by saying no initially, for being too hesitant to leave and for staying seated for too long, he was kept at 3 points, while Matt made his own mistake.
Where's the man on steroids hiding in a cupboard somewhere?
You want, should I close that door?
If you like.
As soon as I realized what MJ was doing, my brain honestly flicked from I'm doing a scenario game to I actually have a partner in real life and I need to act as this is real.
But the good news is that we can probably fix that.
Whoa, I gotta go.
Now.
I gotta go. Hey, if you talk about engagement, I gotta go. Sorry, thank you.
Take a seat, Matt.
Okay,
If you walk out, it's
bye.
gonna be your job.
Bye. Gotta go.
Although Matt did a great job at leaving immediately and using an object to create distance, he suffered for closing the door while he was in the office, leaving him with 3 points as well. And then there was Ramsey.
Was I the only one there who was legitimately concerned for my job in that scenario?
How's your partner doing? Good?
First of all, I am absolutely terrible at picking up on flirting. I'm so oblivious of flirtation. So she slides across the desk and puts her foot on my knee and says, we're gonna have to let you go, unless... And then dramatic pause, I'm like, unless what? And then buttons a button.
Is it hot in here, Ramsey?
I'm like, well, that's reasonable. It's really hot here in Australia in the summer.
Gosh. These situations, they always make me so stressed.
And then slides in closer and I'm like, well, hold on a minute. Excuse me, ma'am,
Now, Ramsey, you know it's a very difficult job market out there.
I'm thinking, what would real me do? It's implied I need this job. This is a complex scenario, so it must have a complex solution. She gets closer and I'm like, whoa.
Ramsey, you walk out that door and you're walking out on your job.
At which point she screams, he touched me!
Oh my God! He's touching me!
Well-acted scenarios like this open your mind to a whole bunch of possibilities. I think more self-defense schools should spend a lot more time doing this sort of thing.
Despite Ramsey's light bulb moment about self-defense scenario drills, he received a total of 3 points for this scenario, since while he eventually did leave the office, his stay was by far too long. And then Sensei Seth was ready to show a better example.
And she puts a pen in her mouth, and if you don't know, that is a sign.
I'm good. I'm okay.
Sad.
Thank you. Hey, I hope you find a hire that gets better sales.
And receives 4 points for being able to pick up bad signs early and leaving with confidence, but then Icy Mike comes in to steal the show.
Performance review. Let's go.
What did I do?
I've actually been, as a very, very young man, in a situation very similar to that. It happens to women a lot. We hear a lot about that. A lot of times we don't hear as much about men, or if we do, it's treated as a joke. She's a very quick improvisational actor, so I felt intimidated. And that's a delicate situation, because I gotta get out of there without letting her behave inappropriately towards me, and also not giving anyone any reason to believe that I behaved inappropriately.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you.
All good?
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. It's, we can fix this.
Actually,
Look, Mike, because I really like you
Yeah,
as a person.
Cool,
so
cool.
I think we should probably take a seat and we can probably talk this out.
And that's how Mike got 5 points and got ahead in the lead of Ramsey Dewey.
It's sort of like a lose-lose situation for the man. It's either you do this or you lose your job, because if you lay hands on the woman to be like, no, stop, even if it's preventative, you're automatically the bad guy because you've touched her.
I see the guys coming out of their exhaust, spent.
They just stabbed me a bunch.
After that, I was pretty upset with myself.
They got exponentially harder.
After completing a set of self-defense scenarios, the 6 martial arts YouTubers who are competing against each other to find out who will become the ultimate self-defense champion had only an hour break before they were set to compete in the next challenge. And while they were able to keep up good spirits,
When I win, can you ship the belt? I don't want to put it in my suitcase.
When I win this I'm gonna wear that on the motherfucking plane.
No. I want it to be in pristine condition.
It's not the ultimate pretty boy championship. It's the ultimate self-defense championship. I hope it's got like bullet holes and to start with. In fact, when I win it, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna shoot it full of bullet holes.
the contenders were also gradually falling apart.
And I'm super stressed. The guys are stressed from getting hit in the head too hard. Ramsey's injured, and I still need to be a participant. My mind is just too full of everything.
Comments on your knee?
It's in bad shape. Boom! A dude drops on my head. My knee buckles, and it just got worse from there.
And after the short break, they were asked once again to wear anatomy t-shirts, and the rules of the next challenge were explained. Each participant will enter a padded room where they will be joined by a single attacker carrying a marker representing a knife. The contender will then have to defend against the knife attacker for 20 seconds, 4 times in a row, each time with a new and fresh attacker. And running away will not be an option, as the space will represent a locked room where escaping is impossible. The contenders will receive points after each attempt, and if at the end of 20 seconds they will remain unscathed, they will receive 3 points each time. If there will be wounds that are not fatal, 2 points will be received. If the wounds will be deadly, 0 points will be given. And every time a contender will get wounded, a wound mark will appear on the screen. And now it is time to begin the challenge, starting with Ramsey Dewey.
I wasn't feeling good. When you're not feeling good physically, it puts a huge damper over how you're feeling every other way. I go in there feeling like, screw this, I don't even care. I don't train for a knife, and they're gonna go all Jordan Chow sewing machine style. I'm gonna get lit up here, and it's gonna suck.
20 seconds starts now. And time! Ready, set, go!
I held the hand that the knife was in, thinking, all I need to do is hold you here for a couple of seconds. I don't even need to hit you. And then I feel this little on the other side. What are you doing? Oh, the marker's on the other side. You changed hands.
Hands up!
I'm gonna get lit up here and it's gonna suck. Self-fulfilling prophecy, that's exactly what happened. Terrible.
Terrible?
Worst thing I've hated every moment.
It did not go as you planned?
Went exactly the way I thought it would. It's incredibly frustrating when somebody's doing something against your will and you can do nothing about it. In retrospect, instead of focusing on the knife, if I had just followed any combat sports strategy, for MMA, for boxing, for kickboxing, for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I would have been stabbed, but I would have been stabbed less.
Although Ramsey Dewey was unsuccessful, there was still chance for the other 5 contenders, following with Sensei Seth.
20 seconds starts now.
While Seth did a great job, unfortunately his multiple stab wounds were assessed as fatal, leaving him with 0 points and 3 more rounds to go.
Ready, set, go!
Did have a lot of success with grabbing a body, trying to pin that arm to the body, and just run it until that person hit a wall.
While Sensei Seth yet again did a great job at fighting his opponent, he suffered multiple stabs to his heart and other vital areas, leaving him with another 0.
The guy who punched me so dang hard. We're cool, but I'm gonna look at you like this for a while. I hit a hip toss on him, and I land a crucifix somehow. I've never practiced a crucifix. I kind of barely know what a crucifix looks like because of some old UFC fight. All of a sudden, his arms were between my arms and legs. Oh, well, let me just sit back. And I sit back, and he can't move at all. What is this magic?
Although Sensei Seth landed a great hip toss and a crucifix, he got stabbed multiple times in vital areas, leaving him with 1 more 0.
Where's that crucifix? Interesting.
See, that's the funny thing. I'm not saying it's not deliberate. A lot of the times you've got to take what's given. You can't force something.
When we stab somebody, I like the demeanor.
I landed a beautiful sidekick, launched old buddy across the room, then I run up and try and headbutt him.
Despite doing a great job at all 4 rounds, Sensei Seth experienced fatal wounds each time and did not earn any points for this challenge.
Not easy. No, it's not. You could also factor into that trophies on concrete.
Hey man, I'm hearing positive things.
Are you? They just stabbed me a bunch. I rested my ass off. Still not.
Your t-shirt though, compared to Ramsey's, looks great.
That's surprising.
Folds in your stomach, but Ramsey had way more.
I thought I was kind of going to do better in Shark Tank, to be honest.
And Jeff Jan was preparing to go next.
I thought Sensei Seth did better. so I'm like, okay, he's my competitor here. I thought I could do the same strategy as I did in the circle, but this time, after taking them down, they were scrambling way too much. Took them down, and they were able to pass it and stab, pass it, stab, and couldn't do anything. I got a teep to the face into a takedown. Again, if I'm gonna lose, at least something entertaining.
Yet again, while Jeff did an amazing job, he didn't survive any of the rounds.
I hate it when you look tired.
Well, check how much my back. I got stab on the back. Look up, look up.
After it, I was pretty upset with myself. I should have tried to, while standing, two-hand the knife and just pin it. I should have done that.
So far, half of the contenders failed to get even a single point, but the other half still had a chance to change the situation, starting with Icy Mike and his extensive training in knife defense.
Last year, I did about 70 hours of coursework in knife defense with some of the best knife defense instructors in America. I know he stabbed me to death, but I think I took him with me. Started dropping the old ground and pound GSP knees, but to the dome, and I was trying to crush that guy's skull. I mean, not really. I wasn't really trying to crush, but in my mind, I was crushing that guy's skull.
Despite all the effort, Icy Mike also receives 0 points for this challenge.
After that third one, when I was like last one, I was like, I knew my legs they're literally jello. My lack of mass. You're talking about how you sidekicked the guy across the room. Like, I could never. I know how to throw the same thing. I sidekicked many a dude.
What's crazy to me is that no matter how well it felt like you were doing,
You're still getting stabbed.
you were still probably getting stabbed.
There was one I felt real good about. He probably did get me. That's the thing about this. You don't know. And even when it's real, you don't know. People that get stabbed report it feels like getting punched.
We could put anyone in the world in that situation and they're going to have the same results as you, probably less, to be honest. Those guys that run all those knife workshops that you've attended, they're going to end up the same way. Any of those courses, do they take it to that level?
If you do, it's usually one time. And it's another participant, but not a guy who's like, this is what I do.
You may be wondering why we are asking the contenders to fight a knife attacker in a closed room, since when speaking about self-defense, most people say that you should simply run away. Unfortunately, running away isn't always an option, as you may be with your wife or child, or you may get trapped in a closed area. At the same time, while many people claim that they could defeat a knife attacker, the reality is that it is not a simple task at all, as it is clearly evident in our challenge, as none of the 4 contenders so far were able to receive any points at all, and only 2 were left to try to make a difference.
Shank tank. I was nervous about that.
I see the guys coming out of the shank tank and they're exhausted. They're just spent. And I'm thinking, man, this is gonna be hard.
And Matt was the next one to put things on the line.
I figured I'm in a bit of a recessive mindset. I need to switch that to become the predator, and I just started swearing at Aaron. And that helped me transition into being a bit more aggressive and just focusing on finishing the job.
Even though Matt was close to surviving, his wounds proved to be fatal and he did not get any points for the first round. Despite a great show of heart, like the rest of the competitors, Matt did not get any points. And then it was my turn to have the final attempt.
Ready, set, go.
Oh, there's a potential Aikido technique in there. Should I do it or should I not? But I realized if I'm gonna do it, probably he's gonna switch hands.
Even though I got only 3 wounds, the judges assessed that they were fatal and I received 0 points.
It's 4 rounds, everyone comes out exhausted, so I'm thinking I'll try to defend myself as best as I can, but if I see I'm dying, I'm gonna conserve my energy for the next round. Placed an object in the middle. Oh, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna use my Aikido evasive skills. I'm gonna use that object. And the guy comes in, I'm using the object against him, and he kicks it out of the way. And I'm like, what was the purpose of that thing? He just kicked it out of the way.
Time!
Grabbed him, tackled him. I find myself sitting there on top of him, hitting him in a pretty good position, and I'm like, I'm not gonna move from here. He's touching my helmet here. I'm like, this is not as bad as it could be. I let go of George, and in a slow motion fashion, he moves towards my neck and slashes it.
I'm not giving up.
Despite my attacker slashing my throat once I let go after the bell, I soon learned that the judges were discussing whether I survived this round.
Show them your face. This was done during, that was done after. That's a facelift. But it's not a fatal. The other 3, no question, dead. This one, that's in question. You guys have a discussion.
And after having a discussion, the judges decided that I received 2 points. And although it was a mix of skill and luck, I was still exhilarated to score points for this challenge, bringing me much closer to the top 2 contenders.
You and Sensei Seth were the big underdogs, and you guys are on par right now.
But everything can change, since in the final challenge, a single contender will have the chance to earn a total of 9 points, potentially changing everything. And soon enough, we will find out who will become the first ever Ultimate Self-Defense Champion.
I started feeling my heart pounding. I'm like, holy shit.
I am standing behind that door in a sprinter's stance with my hand shaking like this.
And in walks like 2 of the biggest humans I've ever seen in my life.
I can barely walk, but oh well. Suck it up, Buttercup, let's go.
It's been 5 days since the 6 YouTubers from all across the globe have been living together and competing against each other in various self-defense challenges. Throughout this time, they had moments of triumph and defeat, humor and disappointment. And although during these challenges they were rivals, they all agreed that after the championship is over, they will be coming out of this as greater friends.
It feels like walking into a room full of friends that I never even knew were my friends.
Yet before that happens, they were still set to face each other one last time in the final challenge that will pit them directly against each other.
This is tough, because like, I've grown to like you guys. What's so hard is it like, I don't want to see you sad. But you want to win. But I really want to see you guys sad.
The final challenge will have the contenders fight each other in all-out fights for 20 seconds each time. They will be facing each other off 3 times in 3 different environments, learning who they will fight against at the last moment just before the fight. And if one contender will dominate the fight or win it via submission or knockout, they will receive 3 points for each win, presenting a possibility for a single contender to earn 9 points in total by winning all 3 fights, potentially changing everything. Yet if the fight will be judged a draw, draw, both contenders will receive 2 points, while no points will be received for a loss. And once this challenge is over, we will finally learn who has become the ultimate self-defense champion.
You know what that's from?
No.
Come on.
I don't.
He knows what it's from. He might not actually. He might not be old enough. Do you know what I'm talking about? He has no idea.
Unfortunately, as the time for the final challenge came, the contenders learned that Matt will not be able to join it, as he had an emergency to take care of in his personal life, finalizing Matt's score as it is right now. Yet the contenders soon learned that there will be 2 new fighters who will join this challenge.
And in walks like 2 of the biggest humans I've ever seen in my life.
And then I started feeling my heart pounding. Holy what the heck is happening? And then I look at Mike and I tell him, Mike, I finally realized how you feel with me.
When they walked in the room, I pulled some self-defense, some magic, if you will. And I walk up to him and start chatting to him. I'm like, hey, what are you up to? At this point, if they're gonna be big, mean, and hit me hard, I was gonna make them like me, so this way if they were gonna do it, they were gonna feel bad about it.
And then the discussion if Ramsey Dewey should join the final challenge due to his injury came about.
If you're injured, if the smart decision is not to, then that's cool. You make the call.
I'm too injured to compete at this point. I'm out, I can't do it.
As Ramsey dropped out, his total score was also finalized, leaving 4 contenders and 2 additional fighters to fight each other. And once who fights who was chosen by drawing out ballots, the final details were revealed to the contenders.
Goran's had about 6 Muay Thai fights, and this is Hala, who was Australian wrestling champion probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
Mike is petrified.
The other thing too is you don't need your glove. We're fighting in the old Bruce Lee Kali weapons gloves as well, just for the sake of your fingers. It's almost like you're wearing 10-ounce boxing gloves, but you can grapple somewhat with it. First one that we're taking you to is there's 2 doors. Half will be in that half will be in that half. You don't know who you fight. I'll come in and go, you're up, you're up. When you hear the whistle, you come out those doors, you just go straight in. You got 20 seconds to do as much as you can.
The reason for this challenge of going all out for 20 seconds is to show that usually in self-defense when fighting at maximum intensity, the fight does not look like a professional fight, but instead even experienced martial artists end up looking like brawlers due to adrenaline and the chaos of the situation. Just like pre-conference MMA brawls don't look like professional fights either. And under these difficult circumstances, we will be seeing who still does the best by causing the most damage to potentially end the fight.
I am standing behind that door in a sprinter's stance with my hand shaking like this.
I step through the door, I run towards apparently Seth, and I see a fist flying towards me and wham!
So I was going to open the door, sprint around the corner, and smash whoever was there. It was Rokas.
I'm not doing that great. My strategy did not work out. I'm like, it's time to go down.
How are we? Do you like us?
Yeah.
Since Seth did more damage and dominated the fight longer, he receives 3 points, temporarily putting him in the lead.
The sophisticated plan to minimize the damage didn't give much fruit. Seth's plan to just go all out worked so much better. I'm like, I'm gonna do this next.
But before I could find out if my new plan will work better, Icy Mike and Jeff Jan still had to find out if they were going to fight each other or one of the 2 other fighters in this round.
What was your reaction to the big guys?
Believe it or not, I was kind of relieved because I thought I wouldn't have to fight Sensei Seth.
Did you choose them over Sensei Seth?
For some reason, I kind of was.
I thought it was gonna be the big guy, and I said, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna throw my right hand as hard. I'm just gonna go straight at him. Well, apparently on the other side, Jeff Chan's probably thinking the same thing. I create a little bit of space to hit the up kick. The up kick's been my only thing that's been working for me this whole week against these monsters.
Good job, boys.
That fight, given a long enough timeline, I'm sure he beats me. In those 20 seconds, I feel like it's fairly close.
And then, since Ramsey Dewey was out of the fights, due to his experience as an MMA referee and judge, he was invited to help judge the fights.
I thought it was pretty close. I would almost score that a draw.
Really? Why?
Those up kicks were pretty good. On the ground, he landed more shots. Jeff had a dominant position, but
Shots from the bottom, there's like no weight behind that.
Jeff went head first into the wall. The takedown was good, but he didn't lift him up and slam him. I'm sort of thinking it's a draw, but we'll see what Aaron thinks. It was close. I said it was a draw too.
one good thing from the bottom was it. Just the upkick. Everything else was total domination from the top, so I don't know how this could be considered a draw. I'm holding my position.
No, yeah, that's okay.
Unfortunately for Mike, eventually the second judge was swayed by Ramsey's opinion, and Jeff Chan received 3 points for the win, bringing him back into the first position. And then for the ending of the first round, the 2 additional fighters were set to fight each other. It turns out the additional fighters were a trick to raise the stress and adrenaline levels of the contenders.
I did this just to mess with people's heads, just to try and make everyone scared. Those 2 guys aren't fighting anymore. That was just a fuck. That was with your head. I wanted that intimidation, throw a curveball, someone that you're not familiar with.
Hey, you are listen, you exploited my friendship. I'm tying his gloves up, thinking I thought I'd fight you later.
Luckily for the contenders, they won't be needing to fight the additional fighters, yet they still had 2 more fights with each other.
This was the door, and I'm in the dressing room. I saw Ruckus go. I was going for a clinch, and then
as soon as I saw your head snap back, I said that was Seth.
Soon enough, it was revealed to us that the next fight will take place on a bridge. The same one that during the Zombie Apocalypse Challenge, Sensei Seth described as...
This right here is really sketchy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But this time, we're going to know who our opponents were. And Seth was going to fight Icy Mike, while I was going to fight Jeff Chan. And the 2 of us were going to fight first.
I know I'm gonna have to fight Jeff Chan. Professional MMA king fighter. I know he's amazing, but I have the size, weight advantage, and I thought I'm gonna have the aggression advantage. But I also know he loves double leg takedowns, so I'm not gonna jump on him.
This time there was actually space and I could actually see and kind of sort of plan. So I went to fake a takedown.
Go! Instead of running into him, I stopped.
So I feinted, you didn't react to it. Went for the 1-2, you dodged it.
Oh, that's my opportunity. Wham, I connect with him, I get a few shots on him.
You were grabbing, feeding me punches, I had to grapple you.
I decide I'm gonna throw him over my shoulder. But he posts.
When you got up, I have a reaction to exit punch.
Obviously better than I thought he would, but I think Jeff won around.
I give Jeff the slight edge, ever so slight, yeah, because he landed some good shots. Unconventionally sort of reversed it, but then Jeff regained that position, so we go Jeff.
Although the fight was not one-sided, Jeff Chan had the upper hand, scoring him yet another 3 points and pushing him further in the lead.
That last punch probably would have disconnected me if not the helmet. I feel it. Jeff is so precise, even in like a that chaotic situation.
And next up, Sensei Seth was set to face Icy Mike.
I'm doing kata before we start to mess with him, but I just see him like this, standing like he's like Troy. I was like, okay, I guess that's lame.
It's a f***ed up thing, a fight with a friend. I don't want to fight him, but then that f***s him up.
Is everyone ready? Yep.
Let's go.
We clinch up. He kicks me in the balls. I registered that he kicked me down there. I didn't feel anything.
I expected a head kick for the competitive streak, and we've been talking about landing head kicks on people.
And now it was time to find out who won the fight.
Mike, that was a solid knee to the nuts.
Yeah. The whole event, I needed to be more aggressive. I needed to flip that switch, and I did, and I was slow to start.
But the judges weren't as convinced about Mike's loss. And since they couldn't come to a consensus, all the contenders were invited to assess Mike's fight against Seth.
We thought it was very easy. That kick, he obviously pulled it. That's the danger of pulling the kick is they get caught all the time. You more or less say that that was a takedown. I know granted if you follow through it would be different.
The groin kick was...
You're on the... That's not a fact that we're one of those schools that, kick to the groin, kick to the groin. But it was actually Ramsey that brought it up.
He pulled the kick to the head, I pulled the kick to the groin.
At the end of the fight, Seth was on top and was feeding punches. If that went 10 seconds longer, could have done a lot of damage, then the groin shot does play a big role. It's so hard.
You know what? I'd be happy to call it a draw.
Who thinks Seth won? Like, honestly, who thinks Seth won? Who thinks Mike won? Who thinks it was a draw?
No. You gotta fix it.
It's so close.
So it's 2 for Seth, 2 for Mike, and 2 for
The nature of that is it is a draw.
It's a 3-2 and yeah.
For the draw, both Mike and Seth get 2 points, which brings us to a fascinating situation, where if in the following round Seth will win his fight and Jeff will lose his, Sensei Seth will become the ultimate self-defense champion by getting ahead with a single point. In this round, all the competitors will once again fight a randomly chosen opponent, and they will find out who it will be at the very last moment once the hoods will be taken off, while the environment will be a lounge. And I was going to fight my final opponent first.
All I'm thinking about is like, as soon as they're gonna take off the hood, I'm just gonna jump, whoever that is, I'm just gonna strike them.
Blindfold to come off in a moment.
You're Jeff telling, as soon as I'm gonna lift off the hood, I'm like, God, I'm tuned in, I'm ready.
Blindfold's off. Wait, whoa. 3 seconds.
Yeah, so Rokas cheated.
Turns out what Jeff said was,
Then you have about 3 seconds and we'll say go.
I did not hear that whatsoever.
Luckily, Mike accepted it as an honest mistake, and in a moment, we were ready to go again.
I thought that Rokas might duck and shoot, not try the same thing twice. So I tried to do a flying knee, because I was hoping you would duck your face into it.
I'm feeling terrible. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna let him strike first.
2, 1, go!
He just sort of hung back and it sort of grazed off his chest.
Oh man.
That was it for Mike and I, leaving Mike with a final score of 20 points and the 4th place, and me with 26 points and the 3rd place.
The fact is that when the vote was there who's gonna win, I was last, and pretty significantly last. And deep inside I thought, I'm gonna prove everyone wrong. I've been working so hard for the past few years. I've been training my ass off, going to classes 6 and even more times per week. I know all the other guys have more experience than I do, but I also know that I can show stuff as well. And I realized I got the 3rd spot.
Me, I guess technically 4th place. It hurts. And it's rough, and knowing your limitations is important too. That could be considered a form of self-defense. I know where I'm at. The cool thing about this though is all the fights are so nuts. It wasn't like anyone got owned. Even the fights where somebody won, other dude was in there. So I feel happy about my performance. I'm my own belt. I don't need that belt.
And now, it was time to find out who will become the ultimate self-defense champion.
The whole purpose of the mask was that you didn't know who you were fighting. Before we take off the mask, I say, you got 5 seconds? I can hear Jeff go, yeah. Jeff knew it was me off the jump.
Go.
But my just reaction was to shoot for the double. He sprawled really quickly.
I'm going to win.
Go.
I found success in grabbing people, running them into something.
And I'm going bomb, bomb. Oh my God, there's only 20 seconds. I think I'm gonna lose this.
And all of a sudden I feel like my arm is like, it's kind of like in something. But I know that there can't be much time left. I'm waiting, and then it gets to the point that I can't take it anymore. I, on his leg, go tap, tap. Beep, 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 beep.
Good job, man.
Thanks, brother. You would have.
I lost. Like, I lost a whole thing. I'm about to start crying right now. I lost a whole thing right then in one, like in a fight that I felt like I was winning.
I'm obviously happy and proud, but at the same time, if there's any change in the rules, things could have been significantly different.
I've grown such a bond with you guys. Like, I'm sad to go home. I love my life, but I'm sad to go home. I'm gonna miss you guys for sure. I'm also sad that I didn't win.
This self-defense tournament needs to happen again with a different set of participants.
I think it was really cool. It's very wholesome, everyone coming together. It's really cool to take someone who is like a professional fighter and just put them in environments that everyone fantasizes about seeing them in and actually seeing it play out. This is the first time that anything like this has happened. Now that we know it can be done, I'm interested to see what you do next. Doesn't Jeff have to defend his belt?
We were walking back from the store, and he's like, edgy Rokas! And there were kangaroos. I was like, hey guys, we're just passing through, and he's like, F you better run, kangaroos! And he's like, edgy Rokas!
You had too much pizza too late.
You can't feed Rokas past a certain hour.